It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Stitcher, Deezer, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with a wonderful country singer, songwriter, guitarist, Bill Abernathy from Kansas City, Missouri. He's got a new album out called Crossing Willow Creek, and he's got a new single called Cry Wolf, and he also had an album called Find a Way, which hit number 5 on the charts, and also had a number 1 song, Goodbye Will Never Come Again, and we're going to play that, and we'll also try to get to his newest material as well, too, and it's all about second chances as well, too, and he's got a great story on that, and he's also talked about the high points and biggest challenges, and, Just a great story about this guy from Kansas City, Missouri, family man, and here just to tell you about a wonderful journey where it's shown that, yes, you can do just about anything at a certain age. So, live, ladies and gentlemen, from beautiful Kansas City, Missouri, ladies and gentlemen, the very talented Bill Abernathy. Bill, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Mike. How you doing? It's great to be here. And, again, I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you and your folks. It'll be fun.
Hey, it's amazing. I'm glad to have you on as well, too. You're doing great as well. And you're a country singer, songwriter, guitarist from Kansas City, Missouri. And you began writing songs in your early teens. You played through your school years. And then, as you pretty much said, life took over. Just a lot of things. Get married, building a career, raising children. And kids graduate from school, start their careers. And you did something that you enjoy as well. And, of course, you had a couple of albums that charted very well. We'll play a couple as well, too. And, before we get into all that, tell us how you got started.
I was raised in a pretty musical family, and I was the baby of the family. My siblings were all quite a bit older than me, so I don't know if I was a mistake or just a good Friday night or what, but they were all very musical, very involved in different aspects of different styles of music. So my sister who's 11 years older than I, was very involved in church music. And my brother, who was 9 years older than me, was very much involved in kind of the folk music scene throughout the Midwest. And so I got kind of a pretty diverse musical background from all that. And heck, I was just a little kid. Picked up a guitar, figured out that I could play it a little bit. Different people showed me a few things when I was really, really young. And that kind of blossomed into, going through, music school and classes and learning how to play things and writing songs. And now we are where we are with 3 albums out. So
that is amazing. And what's that one moment that precisely influenced you into where you're at today with music and playing guitar?
Well, there were several, right? But a long, long, long time ago, on my birthday, I was given tickets and taken to, if I had to be taken because I was too young to go, I was taken to a Loggins and Messina concert. And interestingly enough, the band's bus had broken down. And so it was just going to be Loggins and Messina solo. And then on top of that, Kenny Loggins had a broken arm.
Ooh.
So my first real concert experience was listening to Loggins and Messina in their heyday, early 70s, with the guitar, Jimmy Messina playing guitar and he and Kenny Loggins singing. And I was just amazed really at how not only the quality of the music, we all know what they did and how good they are, but the way that they could engage with the audience. And they played a 3.5-hour show solo, man, with one guitar. I mean, that's just impressive. And that kind of left a mark. And I always thought, if I ever wanted to play that would be the kind of thing that I wanted to do. So that's always kind of been my goal.
That is amazing. It sounds like you got some inspiration from the Loggins and Messina concert. And who are some of your other favorite artists and singers growing up?
Well, that's interesting. I was working on a set list today, and I'm going to throw in a few covers, and so this is relatively fresh on my mind. But my favorite artist of all time is Dan Fogelberg.
Mm-hmm.
It just so happens to be that he passed away 12 years ago today. Actually.
Wow.
And he had he and his music had a tremendous influence on me. I mean, I could remember when I was a kid taking his very first album, which was called Home Free, and sitting there and listening to it and learning how to play every note on every instrument, because it just I loved that album. And then of course, his catalog of music was just fantastic. So, a big fan of his, obviously, folks like James Taylor, the great singer-songwriters. Stephen Stills, love Stephen Stills stuff, Jackson Browne, big fan of Jim Croce, who was another artist that was taken from us too soon. Well, John Denver thrown in there, some more obscure folks like Jimmy Spears. Not so many people know about him, but he's one of my favorite singer-songwriter artists. So pretty diverse. These days, I listen to a lot of different people. Very impressed with John Mayer, for example. I love the Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl, I think, is probably the last of what folks in my generation would call a true rock star, who writes all his own music and plays all his own instruments, and it doesn't matter if he's got the group with him or if it's just him and the guitar. He delivers them magnificently. So pretty diverse group of folks that really influence what I do.
That is amazing as well, too. And we'll also talk about a couple of your albums as well, too. We'll play a couple of tunes. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with singer, songwriter, guitarist Bill Abernathy of Kansas City, Missouri, and he's got a couple of albums which had charted pretty well. He had Find a Way, which hit number 5 on the charts, and here is Goodbye Will Never Come Again. It hit number 1 on the charts right here on the Mike Wagner Show with Bill Abernathy.
Chance to say hello and face all these fears from so long ago. Is there another chance to be your friend? Can hearts along the way somehow open again? I know that my fear may never end, but believe me when I say goodbye will never come again. A long time ago, in a faraway land, we took this chance and let love begin. My fear of that journey was too much for me. I walked away and you cried. I've spent all these years learning to be this man that I am and all that is me. But deep down inside, that fear still remains. I can't break away and I cry. Is there another chance to say hello and face all these fears from so long ago? Is there another chance to be your friend? Can hearts locked away somehow open again? I know that my fear may never end, but believe me when I say goodbye will never come again. The innocence of youth, the essence of this truth that make us who we are. Those moments shared with you, so innocent and true, so close, but yet so far. Another chance to say hello and face all these fears from so long ago. Is there another chance to be your friend? Can hearts locked away open again? I know that my fear may never end, but believe me when I say, believe me when I say, you must believe me when I say, goodbye is never coming again. Goodbye, never coming again.
That's Bill Abernathy. Goodbye will never come again here on the Mike Wagner Show from Find a Way. And Bill, tell us all about that song, Goodbye Will Never Come Again, and what inspired you to write that song? What's it about?
Yeah, it's actually kind of three parts, right? It's a confession and an apology and a promise, right? So maybe when I was younger, I didn't handle relationships as well as maybe I could have. And so the confession is that I realized that I didn't do relationships well, and particularly ending of relationships. And it's an apology for being who I was, and maybe for not treating people as well as I could. And it's a promise that I'm not going to do that again, and that just walking away from a relationship, just saying goodbye and walking away, will never come again. Hence the title, Goodbye Will Never Come Again.
Mm-hmm. And of course, too, that you also had your thing about with your dad as well, too, that it was you're at work, you finish up 10 minutes and about your dad and everything else, and it was also a rather challenging time for you as well.
Yeah, you're talking about the Find a Way tune, which is has been called my signature song, right? So it's really about the day that my dad passed away, and and how I did not prioritize my time very well that day, and got a call that he was not doing well and that I needed to come to the hospital. And I was at work, doing what you do, and waited about 5 extra minutes. And when I got to the hospital, he had already passed. And so that tune is really about following up on a lesson that he taught me. And my dad always told me that if you want something bad enough and you're willing to put in the blood, the sweat, the tears, and the toil, you can always find a way to make it happen. And those are words of advice that I use every day. I think they're great words of advice, and that particular song kind of depicts a lot of the stories and a lot of things that he taught me throughout the course of my life. And at the end of that song, you hear an acoustic version of the Wildwood Flower, which was my dad's favorite song, and he loved to hear me play it. And so at the end of that song, when we recorded it, I recorded just a pure acoustic version of the Wildwood Flower. It's kind of my way to find a way to tell him I loved him one more time.
That is amazing as well, too. Of course, growing up in Kansas City as well, too, and playing for your school years. What was it like growing up in Kansas City?
Kansas City is a cool place. I always say that Kansas City is the best little big town in the world. I've been fortunate through, music and my career, my business career, to travel all over the world. And I always look forward to coming back to Kansas City. It's a great town. It's big enough where you have all the amenities, and it's small enough that people are still really nice. It has a great music scene, and you can always find some really good music to listen to live, just about any day of the week, and about any kind of style of music that you want. Of course, Kansas City's known for blues and jazz, primarily. And so, if you like that style of music, I've got some friends that are playing tonight, actually, that I'm thinking about jumping out into the Snowmageddon world that we're in Kansas City right now. I'm going to hear play. So, yeah.
And what's like the most interesting story that occurred to you, during the course of your music career, besides the Loggins and Messina concert?
Oh, there's been several, but I think probably the funniest one was I was playing in Chicago, and it was at a big outdoor thing, and there was a bunch of people there. Like these 10,000 people, and I'm the acoustic guy, and so I'm playing in the middle of the afternoon, and it's really, really hot, and so I'm playing and doing my thing. Played about an hour and a half, and you're sweating, and so you're trying to hydrate a lot, and trying to maintain. And about halfway through my last song, I was doing this whole guitar thing, and for whatever reason, about halfway through the song, the whole left mains clipped on the PA, and they just went silent. And I remember just for a fleeting second before they clipped back on, I remember thinking, I'm having a stroke. So there you go. That was an interesting time, one of those freak out moments on stage, I suppose. Yeah.
It sounds like you had some interesting times as a singer as well, too. And, of course, we'll talk more about your inspiration for music, and plus your new album, Crossing Willow Creek. We'll play Cry Wolf for you. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with country singer, songwriter, guitarist from the folk era, Bill Abernathy, Kansas City, Missouri, which we played... Goodbye Will Never Come Again hit number 1 on the singles chart from the Find a Way release, which hit number 5. And also a new album is out called Crossing Willow Creek. And here's Cry Wolf right here on The Mike Wagner Show with Bill Abernathy.
gotta recognize the thieves in their tracks. Who's crying wolf? We gotta separate the lies from the facts. The truth is calling our names loud and clear, but we're running with the pack that's turned to deaf ear. We've got to learn who's crying wolf. Think first, and the rest will come easy. I turn on the TV, and what do I see? Elected officials in a broken governmental machine, assuring all the masses they are building this American dream, or spending all the time debating the latest tweets. Your tax dollars at work. I turn the next channel, I see a smile so bright, spreading the gospel that everything's alright. Keep sending me your money market 501c3, a deduction for you and zero taxes for me. Hallelujah! Tell me, are you crying wolf? You gotta recognize the thieves in their tracks. Tell me, are you crying wolf? We gotta separate the lies from the facts. The truth is calling our names loud and clear, but we're running with the pack that's turned to deaf ear. We have got to learn who's crying wolf. You post their howls in your media feeds to get a few likes, follows and tweets. Like sheep you follow these programmed elites, but they are the wolves and we the raw meat, and it's a feeding frenzy. We tear down the statues, hide the flags, hide the wars, but George said it right in 1984. He controls the present, has full control of the past, so we can repeat it, complicit with our alternate facts. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you crying wolf? We gotta recognize the thieves in their tracks. Tell me, are you crying wolf? We gotta separate the lies from the facts. The truth is calling our names loud and clear, but we're running with the pack. This time you're deaf fear. We have got to learn who's crying wolf. We gotta recognize the thieves in their tracks. Tell me, are you crying wolf? We gotta separate the lies from the facts. The truth is calling our names loud and clear, but we're running with the pack. This turn to deaf fear. We have got to learn who's crying wolf. Who's crying wolf? Tell me, are you crying wolf? Tell me, are you crying wolf?
That's Crying Wolf.
Deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. That's right. Cry Wolf by Bill Abernathy on the Mike Wagner Show. And powerful song, too. And sounds like the state of what we're going through today. Tell us more about that song.
Yeah, Cry Wolf is a bit of a social statement. You know, I think that, it came about one day when I was sitting around and I was watching the news and or what we call the news. It's really just pretty much opinion at this point. But I was watching these opinion shows and I was also playing around on social media and I got fascinated with how quickly a breaking news story on pick a channel on television got repopulated so quickly out on social media, just like it were fact. And obviously there's been no time to do any kind of fact checking, any kind of validation. There are some folks that are really quick about posting things on social media. And I got to thinking about it because, you see so much from so many people that you really don't pay attention to it. And, after a while, and it reminded me of the old fable, cry wolf. At some point, you could only raise the flag so many times until folks are just going to say, really, it's just another thing. Bill's just went crazy again, and he's talking about all this stuff again. So nobody's going to pay any attention. And so that was really kind of the impetus behind the whole thing. And, it has a verse in it that's kind of about politics. It has another verse about, the business of organized religion, if you would. And then it has the third verse that it actually talks a little bit about how our society is really starting to emulate a whole lot of what you read in Orwell's 1984. And I'm a bit of a science fiction guy. And so that song was the opening song. That was the first release that we had off Crossing Willow Creek. And we actually released it on Election Day. And I forget how many, it was tens of thousands of streams that it got right out of the chute, just because I think they're really starting to get tired of it. They're starting to get worn out from all the drama that we tend to want to generate over a little bit or nothing. So, The Cry Wolf was a fun song to write and certainly a fun song to play, for sure.
That was amazing, too. And a lot of the inspiration for your music comes from a variety of sources. And where do you draw inspiration from when it comes to songwriting?
Well, really, I'm really just the storyteller, really, at the end of the day, right? I mean, that's what I think a lot of really good songs are, is they're really just telling a story. And so, things happen to me, or I meet people along life's way, and they've got some cool stories, or sometimes, I wrote a song one time called This I Know. That was a poem that somebody that I hadn't seen in 40 years had written, and they sent it to me. And I read through it. Unfortunately enough, they didn't just send me the poem, but they sent me the backstory. And as I read through the backstory, it kind of evolved into a tune called This I Know. So I think that, the inspiration comes from, a lot of different things, things that happen to me, or things that happen to friends or family members, or things that you see on TV. I mean, it's inspiration is about anywhere if you just want to open yourself up to it. So I'm really just a storyteller, and, get a good story and write it down, play a little guitar, and hopefully it all works out. So far, it's worked out fairly well. So
far, so good. Yeah, you've had a couple of #1 singles, and you also had a couple of albums that charted in the top 10 as well, too. What's the biggest challenges facing indie artists today, in your opinion?
Well, to be honest with you, I think it's finding your audience. I think that, I saw a stat the other day that said that there are something like 300,000 songs released every day, right? Because it's just so easy now to produce music. And really to find your audience, I think, is the challenge, and I think that, I think for indie artists, first of all, it's important to know who you are and be comfortable with who you are, and then be able to take who you are and find your audience and connect with them, and then, continue that relationship with your audience and your fans. So I think that's a bit of a challenge, because there's so much, there's so much music available today, that being able to find the folks that like your stuff is a bit of a challenge. We've been somewhat successful with it, but it's an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing, too. And any plans for upcoming tour in 2020?
Yeah, actually, yes. Yeah, so that we've decided to step behind the veil, right? We live in Kansas, so it's the man behind the veil, right? But,
I am Oz.
Exactly. I've always kind of lived in the studio and lived electronically, if you would, on the internet and all the things. And I really didn't start out with the intent of touring, but it kind of goes back to what you said before, is to find your audience, and create a relationship with the people that like your music. And so we are. I am touring. As a matter of fact, I'm going to St. Louis this weekend to play the opening show of my tour, kind of a pilot, if you would, a test.
Mm-hmm.
And then we take off and go through Texas and Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico in January. So that should be fun.
That sounds like fun too. And if you had a choice of who to share the stage with, who would you like to have on stage with you?
Well, do they have to be alive? Because a lot of my favorite folks have unfortunately passed on.
It's your choice.
Some of the great. It's my choice. So some of the great singer-songwriters, I mentioned already that I'm a huge Dan Fogelberg fan. I think it would be fun, not necessarily to share the stage, but I'd just like to have a conversation. I'd just like to have a discussion with him about how his process for writing music. And, he has a very unique way of marrying music to lyrics so that the music doesn't overpower the lyric, but really emphasizes the lyric. And brings the lyric out front where you can actually hear and understand what he's talking about. So that would be fascinating for me to share the stage and to have that conversation. I think that would be phenomenal.
That'd be great. We're here with Bill Abernathy, folk singer, songwriter, guitarist, country style from Kansas City, Missouri, here on the Mike Wagner Show. And just a couple of things here. We'd love to have you back on in 2020. You've been fantastic. Who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
My family, to be honest with you. I think that, we've all got great musical influences. We've talked about those through the course of the interview. But my inspiration is my family, starting from my parents and my brothers and my sisters to, now my kids and my grandkids. So they're very inspiring to me, and I think they tend to keep me young, which is a good thing, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So, my family is very, very important to me. It's, number one priority in my life, always has been.
That's fantastic. What's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Know who you are. Be comfortable with who you are and be comfortable with sharing who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of times we can get into the imitation world, right? Like, I have a lot of folks that I really like, and I can play their music and make it sound, roughly like they do. But I don't think that that's where success lies. If you're looking for some element of success, I think that finding out who you are, finding your sound, finding your story, finding what you want to share with the world, and then getting good at that is absolute key. There are a lot of guys that can play like Hendrix. There's a lot of guys that can play like Stills. But they were the first ones to do it. Hendrix, Stills, the greats, right? James Taylor. They were the first ones to find that sound and to find out who they are. And that's what made them who they are. I would avoid imitation and try to be who you are.
That is fantastic, Bill. And just want to say, Bill, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you on in 2020. And just a couple more things. Tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase your music?
Yeah, so I've got, I'm pretty active on social media. So I have a website, my website, BillAbernathy.com. And so if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about the music, there's a bunch of reviews and interviews and that kind of stuff out there. So you could learn a little bit more about me and a little bit more about the music. We're active on multiple social media networks, but the primary one that I focus on is Facebook, and it's Bill Abernathy, singer-songwriter on Facebook. So you could go out there and find me. Give me a little like. You can see what's going on, all the announcements and tours and new releases and all that stuff. It's all out there. And, if you go to the website, BillAbernathy.com, then you can see all of the links to all the social media stuff, Twitter and, all the other places. So, appreciate anybody that wants to follow, jump on. And, I always make two promises. Number one, I won't share information unless there's information to be shared. So I'm not that active on social media. and I certainly will not fill up your inbox. So, yeah.
That's a good point. Bill, just want to say a big thank you very much. Bill Abernathy, the singer, songwriter, guitarist out of Kansas City. A big thank you for your time. Looking forward to having you on soon. And do us a favor, keep us up to date.
I'll do it. I did. I found your show on Facebook, so now I can follow you, and I'll send you little updates on what's happening. So.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.